Do you think it's a good use of manpower and resources to go after law-abiding First Nations and Inuit firearms owners when they clearly are not the problem?
Absolutely not.
And I'm going to ask you about using an already stressed RCMP resource to be used for what your members have already identified that aren't the problem. So what I have before me, and I pointed it out to you before we started today, it's a document, the Special Chiefs Assembly, December 6th, 7th, and 8th, 2022 in Ottawa, and the resolution is number 39-2022. On November 24th, 2022, the House of Commons Standing Committee on Public Safety and National Security met to do a clause-by-clause reading of Bill C-21, and shortly after, amendments were introduced adding long guns, rifles to the banned list, potentially criminalizing many types of firearms currently used by First Nations peoples for sustenance hunting, and I will add in, namely, the widely used SKS. This is the resolution at the bottom of the page 2. Therefore, it be resolved that the First Nations in Assembly, 1, publicly oppose Bill C-21, an act to amend certain acts and to make certain consequential amendments firearms, which potentially criminalizes long guns or rifles used by First Nation peoples in exercising their Aboriginal and treaty rights to sustenance, hunt, and harvest. Chief, do you as an organization still oppose Bill C-21 and the resulting firearm confiscation program, yes or no?
Absolutely. We follow our chiefs in assembly and we follow our First Nations in assembly, and if whatever this says, that stands until otherwise said so by the assembly.
About, again, First Nations and Inuit policing. And we heard from at our last committee hearing, as we've heard even from previous witnesses today, First Nations and Inuit RCMP detachments are short-staffed and under-resourced. There's a lack of recruiting. It's been well known, and it's very challenging for remote communities, as you just mentioned. I've been up and traveled extensively in Yukon and Northwest Territories and Nunavut, and see that firsthand. We've heard even today stories about real criminals aren't being held in custody and being released even before their paperwork is completed. Considering RCMP management in Ottawa can't ensure First Nations and Inuit basic policing needs are met, do you think it's a good use of manpower and resources to go after law-abiding First Nations and Inuit firearms owners when they clearly are not the problem?
Absolutely not.